The Louie Bellina Show, final hour Monday. The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Free estimates, they do them. Military and veteran discounts, they have them. They are CC Electric. Look, in our final hour, we're going to hit up the lifestyles portion. We got an Aggie Baseball listening. Weston Moss, Terrence Keel, Caden Sorrell. And man, the text messages kind of just keep rolling in. Sam, class of 75, he goes by Sam 75. This one made me laugh. He said, Lou, that's me. Which do you loathe? Good word choice. Which do you loathe the most? Postseason conference tourneys or football conference championship game? Which one do I loathe the most? Conference tournaments. Conference tournaments. At least with football, it's one game. You know, it's one game. Conference tournaments, hey, come to our town. Stay here for 4 to 6 days and play 4 games in 4 days, 5 games in 5 days, all consecutive. No, conference tournaments, Sam. I loathe postseason conference tournaments more than the football conference championship game. And look, I know the future of football conference championship games. Those are going to turn into college football playoff qualifier games. Like, the word championship's going to be out of them completely. Like, when we move to 16, 24, 32 college football playoff teams, and you have your auto bids, 1, 2 will get automatic berth and be off that weekend. And it's no longer be conference championship weekend. It's going to be play-in weekend. Play-in weekend. Every conference, maybe even G5s, but every conference will have play-in weekend. And 1, 2, auto in. That's their bye week, is going to be play-in weekend. Bye week. That's their buys. Your 1, 2s get the buys. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. The 2 winners get the bid into the college football playoff. We will no longer have conference championships. And more games that mean something, of the ultimate something, a spot in the college football playoff. We no longer just have 2 more of your conference teams playing, which that's what the conference, we now have 4. And the stakes have never been higher. Playing for a conference championship before you play for the national championship, yawn in the new format. Playing for a spot in the national championship, playing games, you have me interested. Yes, please. Those games value for TV ratings and, well, what ESPN will pay for them? Oh, you just doubled the number of conference playing games. That's money. And we as the fans, can I ask this as a Louie Bellina Show survey question? Let me please. For your interest level, are you more likely to watch, be involved, have a bona fide interest on that Saturday, conference championship games or conference play-in games, where our P4s will each have 2 play-in games where the winner 3-6, 4-5 gets the berth to the college football playoff. Now, only the Big Ten and the SEC will have 3-6, 4-5. You know why? Because not everyone's getting 4 bids. Like in the Big 12 and the ACC, their 1 gets the bye, 2, 3 plays, and the winner takes their second slot. Because remember, 4, that's SEC, Big Ten country. Big 12 ACC will have 1 game. Their number 1 team gets their 1 bid. And well, one of the 2 bids. And then 2, 3 play where the winner takes the second. For you as a fan, what version do you want? Conference championship games or Louie Bellina playoff Saturday? Play in Saturday. So that's what I think the future will look like. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. 5-0. That kind of ties into something, Sam. I was going to talk about college football, and I think it was a mailbag. And the general concept is every year in the college football playoff of 12, 6, 7, 8 are new. And the Athletic, there we go. Was it Staples? Whoever did their mailbag then went through the 14 playoffs, projected out to 12 using the College Football Playoff Committee rankings. Would that have been true in the 4? Now, we know committee behavior would have been different if they had 12 spots, not 4 spots, but just you got to play along with the methodology. The answer is yeah. Half or more every year would kind of be different, not repeat from the year before. Understand how that statement's being made. Not a repeat from the year before. So, since that's been true every year of the college football playoff, of the 12 teams last year, at least 6 will not be back in. At least. So which teams do you think from last year will not be back in? You would think that Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Miami, those 4 teams, I would struggle to imagine how could they not be back in. Like, it would take epic collapses, disasters, natural. Like, they quit their football programs. They can't find a patch sponsor. Something historic like that. Would that leave maybe 2 more spots of the other 8 teams? Now, Tulane, James Madison, easy call, they're not back. Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. It's kind of 2, maybe 3 slots for those 5, 6 teams to fight over, because historically speaking, half of the slots are going to be faces not from the year before. Texas Tech would have to have a historical, epical face plant not to be one of the teams to repeat. They're in the Big 12. Even if BYU were to rise up and beat them, they'd be a 1 loss, maybe 2 in the conference championship game. They're going to be in the top 12. Like, Texas Tech would have to fail at this scary level with the team they have paid for. That's 5? I could see OU not. I could see Ole Miss not. A&M, we have all spring to talk about. I could see where they're going to be back. I could see where they're not going to be back. I could see there's like a million possibilities for Aggie football for the upcoming year. Can I ask a very basic question about Aggie football specifically? Only. Is it a disappointment if A&M football does not get back to the college football playoff? Because has the bar moved already that far after just 1 year of Elko, A, 11 wins, B, making the college football playoff, and C, hosting it? Or there's still a little more time before we're like that? Because that kind of level of success is not normal. It's not an established pattern. So, is it fair on our part to go, oh, if there's no playoff, it's disappointment. It's a failure of a season. I think we'd be a little too early on that, to be fair. I think it's a little too early on that. If you look at what's lost, expecting, and it's 10 or more, expecting 10 or more seems a bit much. We can want and we can hope, but to actually say, well, of course they're going to, wow. So, Louie Bellina Show survey question. Is it fair, realistic to say if they don't make the college football playoff this year, it's a disappointment? It's a failure. I think that might be a little early, but still, and we're trying to figure out the 6. So Tulane, James Madison, no. Ole Miss, we don't know what Golding's like. He took over interim, heat of the fire. What he did was incredible, but what does that mean when he's the head coach for 12 months? Question mark. Alabama, I'm willing to say no. Oklahoma, no. So I just put the whole SEC out. Brilliant move on my part, because we know that's going to be true. Not. Who would be the new kids on the block? That's the bigger question mark. Notre Dame. Right now, I'd take pen and chisel it in a rock. I think Notre Dame will be a top 4 seed. BYU gets a lot of love. Maybe they could split with Tech. Actually, the reason why probably BYU, they're going to have a lot of sympathy. If they have 2 losses all year and it's Tech, regular season Tech, and the conference championship, they're going to go. I keep seeing USC. It's like, if you keep petting that animal and that animal keeps biting you, maybe it's the animal's fault the first 5 times. But if the animal bites you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's your fault. Because the animal established the first 5 times it's going to bite you. So if you keep putting money on USC and you finally hit, but you're still down $10,000 from the first 9 bets you lost, good on you. Knock yourself out. LSU is the ultimate wild card, and they're on A&M schedule. They're on Texas schedule. It's so funny to me. People kept picking LSU at Kiffin, and the 1 year he does it, he quits on his team. Well, gets another job, and he doesn't get to ride with his team. And LSU had been Ole Miss. Ole Miss had been picked with Kiffin every year leading up to it, and the year he finally does it, he doesn't get to be a part of it. And here he is, year 1 LSU, and they're picking him. So those would be the teams to step in for the team stepping out. A pool. I saw Missouri. Why this year versus any other year? I don't know. They're so borderline close, but I feel like as long as they have A&M on their schedule, they will not break out. The second A&M's off the schedule. Maybe they get their 10 dubs. Maybe they get in the tournament, but as long as Missouri has to play A&M, I don't see it happening. So 979-693-1150. Are we moving just a bit fast for Aggie football if we say disappointing? Surprised if Aggie football does not make the playoff this year. If not, what is the new standard that Elko has established? Is 9 wins okay, which will miss the playoff? Are we calm enough to take into account losing 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen, most of your front 7? Line of scrimmage league, and you got decimated in the lines of scrimmage. You brought in options, but it doesn't change the base fact. Those are the things that float through my head right now. I'm not going to lie to you. 979-693-1150. Couple of other college football notes. I finally looked it up. LSU kept talking about their turnover. Portal players added 40. You got like a $40 million roster. That doesn't even account for the high school kids. That's just portal players added was 40. The Athletic graded, and it was the total additions. It wasn't just your portal, but your high school too. Only 4 teams got an A for player acquisition the offseason cycle, and it was LSU. Ole Miss got an A. 29 players added in the portal themselves. Texas got an A, and they went small, 19. Their high school class was ranked quite high. And Texas A&M. Only 4 teams got an A in the SEC, and yes, Texas A&M was one of those teams that got an A. And it's interesting. We all talk about Horton. Isaiah Horton, wide receiver, for big, obvious, and awesome reasons. But they kind of reminded us about the tight end Richie Anderson. And we keep the top end names like Saka and Horton and 4 other old linemen they brought in that all started in the SEC. But adding Horton plus Anderson as targets, not just Horton. And we saw how tight ends contributed, whether it was Nate or a random Theo. And yeah, that's important to the offense that they run. So I want to try and remember to mention Richie Anderson too. And it's because of the potential. And do not forget that Ricky Gibson III is supposed to step in, be the starter, other side from Dez. And that's replacing the blanket, right? So that's the power potential of this class. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. We'll step aside. We'll return. It is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Don't forget, most guests of the Louie Bellina Show join me on the D4 Land Services hotline. Sometimes I'm like caller 5 now. That's the D4 Land Services hotline. Get your land cleared. You need help. Land excavated. Need help. Land fixed up. You need help. Check out d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. This is the Louie Bellina Show, Monday on the Zone.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where we respect all and fear none.
It's time. Here we go.
Let's go. The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. We're still sticking with the Monday edition. The Louie Bellina Show. Low cost, full service, best of all local. That is Schwab. That is Charles Schwab. Best of all local. Mark Sim is right here in College Station. Look them up online at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. I want to venture into the lifestyles portion of the Louie Bellina Show. Saw a story, Wall Street Journal. Fascinating. At least it is to me. Texas Roadhouse. Got a feeling everybody is familiar with that. Hey, Jeanette, are you familiar with Texas Roadhouse?
I heard that their rolls are awesome.
Jeanette's my producer, in case everybody's wondering whom I'm yelling to right now that you don't hear. And she said, I heard their rolls are awesome. Yeah, and their butter. Their butter is like divine. But yes, Texas Roadhouse. Well, at Texas Roadhouse, they have their steak dinner for less than $20. Most places you can't get a steak, let alone the dinner, for less than $20. And something that I learned, I did not know, is that they have turned into the largest sit-down restaurant chain in the United States by sales. I did not know this. See, on the menu, they have the Texas-sized 23-ounce steak. And again, it's like under 20 or right at 20, $19.99. And they are the largest sit-down restaurant in the U.S. by sales. Now, some of the things I saw in the article, I don't know the truth of them. They said, waiters routinely break into line dancing at some point during their shifts. I've been to a Roadhouse a time or 10 in my life. The only time I think I've seen a line dance breakout was like a little birthday thing. So I don't know how common line dancing is at Roadhouse. They mentioned the peanut shells underfoot. Nice touch. Familiar with the concept. Roadhouse works. I mean, I've never had any beefsteak, but I've never had any problem with them. And the story's fascinating. They talk about the biggest challenge for Roadhouse profits is the price of beef going insane. And they are struggling because they don't want to hurt their image of that affordable $20. They don't want to mess with it. So they've actually had to raise prices on things, but they're not doing it to keep up with the cost of beef because they don't want to. They know what they're known for and they want to stick as hard as they can to it. And it's going up again. And, that's their price point and they're trying to keep it to what they're known for. I did not know that the chain's first actual Texas location, the first Texas Roadhouse in Texas, because the first ever Texas Roadhouse was not opened in Texas. The first ever Texas Roadhouse opened in 1993 in southern Indiana. Yeah, the first ever Texas Roadhouse opened in 1993 in southern Indiana. A recruit from a Chi-Chi's developed a signature margarita. The restaurant quickly made money. They tweaked the menu and recipes. They started expanding. The first ever chain of Texas Roadhouse that opened actually in Texas was 1997 in the city of Grand Prairie. I did not know that. Texas Roadhouse has some of the highest customer satisfaction among sit-down chains. Notably, There was a market research firm, Technomonic or something, that found this out, and they just haven't changed. They deliver. People know. The early managers at Texas Roadhouse had to put like 10% in, or they couldn't like be a manager. They had to have a stake in it. It was the motivation. They're all millionaires now. They're most. According to the story, they figured out it was the best way to get the managers invested in the new concept was making them have to buy like 10% stake. They're millionaires now. Most. And finally, I'm sorry, this story fascinated me. In 2024, Texas Roadhouse passed Olive Garden and Applebee's to become the largest U.S. casual dining brand by sales. Now, they have fewer operating locations than them, but by sales. And their same store sales grew by 5% last year, which is pretty much outpacing everyone else. People are a big fan of the low fuss atmosphere they find at Texas Roadhouse. So there you go. First ever one was 93 in Indiana. First Texas location was 97 Grand Prairie, and they continue to grow by sales, but the challenge of the cost of beef is the greatest challenge they're facing at Texas Roadhouse. I've never said no to going to Texas Roadhouse. And you do know what you're going. You're not going to Ruth's Crisp or Del Frisco's or Prime. But that's fine. You also know you're getting mighty, 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 mighty tasty. 979-693-1150. Okay, lifestyles portion of the Louie Bellina Show. Being mean. People online. Being mean. People online. There's threads. People online talking about things they silently judge other people for. People online. Are you silently judging if you start typing on a Reddit thread, or, you start typing on your Twitter X? Because you're not being silent if you say it publicly. Isn't the whole thing about being silent is you don't say anything? Am I missing something in that concept? If you're saying it public, you're not silent, but online is public. But whatever. I don't want to get into that part of it. So here are things that people are silently judging, but no longer silent about, since they're saying it public, so you're not really silently judging. And not respecting the school bus. Okay? People who dominate conversations and don't let you express yourself. That one fascinates me. Because a lot of times, those people that say that are the people that want to dominate the conversation. So if you're not allowed to talk all you want, say everything you want, and take as long as you want, you feel like you're being dominated and not being allowed to express yourself. That's a tricky one in my universe. People who dominate and don't let you express. Sometimes you don't got 10 hours, man. This one, these are things that you're silently judging other people for, but now you're saying it publicly, so you're not silent. I added that last part. Men who wear baseball caps inside, especially when dining. I didn't know we were being judged. I used to live. I spent the first 35, maybe even 40 years of my life living in the ball cap. And I don't even have hair, so it wasn't for hair purposes. I love the ball cap. Now it's occasional. I know there's certain dining places. I went to Pittsburgh, and it was the A&M Pitt game. Got the ultimate Italian restaurant. I walked in, and I knew I was at an Italian restaurant. I wasn't at Pizza and Pizza Hut. I was at an Italian restaurant, and the hat, I forgot. Oh, the waiter. The look I got is burned in my soul. And I felt so bad because I knew. I knew. Okay. Here's some of the other. We're not going through all of them, but, I don't live in all these lives, so all of these are not necessarily relevant, but these are things they silently judge other people for, but now they're saying them publicly on the internet, so they're not silent about them. But parents letting kids run wild in certain public places. And see, there's a conversation point with this. Like, what certain public places are kids not allowed to run wild in seems to be a debate. Because they say restaurants, movie theaters, supermarkets, and shops. Well, which of these are not for kids would be the ones that, because like a movie theater is for kids, right? So don't you expect kids running wild in a movie? Maybe not when the movie's going on, but the lobby, the concession area, maybe not once you're in the actual theater. But I can share that Louie Bellina, when I go to a bar, pub, brew pub, the last thing in the world is I want babies crying and kids running loose. That's not their plane of existence. That's mine. Yeah, that it can make a beer taste bad. That's my opinion. And then you have the adults that go, well, how am I supposed to get out? I have to bring my kids. I can't afford a sitter. And, I want a beer too, but this is beer area. That's adult area. And then you bring your whatever-year-old that's going to scream for 3 straight hours. That's how I feel. Here's other things. This one I have seen, observed. People who get pushy and unnecessarily crowd others when flying. The people that jump 3-4 rows ahead when the plane lands and then stand there and wait like the rest of us. Yeah, I will admit that does annoy me. I get over it quickly because it's flying. I mean, let's be honest with each other. I'm just throwing that out there. There are people, yes, they let their tension spread out into the universe when they're flying. Here's just a couple more things they silently judge other people for, but they're not silent anymore because they're putting it on the internet, social media. Talking loudly on their cell phone. That's me. I'm guilty. I feel bad. I'm loud, period. It's being a radio person. We're all loud. We don't even know we're doing it. And then we look up and there's like 8 people staring at us. And we know what that means. I apologize. If you're ever around me, you ever see me, and you go, that's Lou. Damn, he's loud. I am. I apologize in advance. Seriously, I apologize in advance. Talking loud on their cell, that's me. That's a guilty as charged. A person driving too slowly on a 2-lane highway. Okay. The rules, the law of the land is a simple law, is it not? You have the right lane. And if you don't want to drive a certain speed, the right lane is your lane, and you have rights in that lane. The left lane is for faster traffic. It doesn't say the speed limit or speed limit plus 5. The left lane is for faster. So if you're going to use the left lane, you should be cognizant of everything around you and get the hell out of the way. If someone's coming up doing 170 in the left lane, it is your obligation to move. There should never be too slowly. If you're in the right lane, you can do whatever speed you want, man. That's what the right lane is for. I hate to say that, but when you're in the left lane and you treat it like it's your right, if you're slower, get out of the way. When I run into slower in the left, yeah, my eye might start to twitch. Yeah, my eye might start to twitch. There's others. Not some of them I have no concept of. So it's from worlds I don't understand. I'm not going to lie to you. There's some that I don't understand. Let's see, not voting and bragging about that fact. I think I'm numb to it. People do that all the time, and I don't understand how that's a brag. Like, if that's your personal conviction, it's a personal conviction. I mean, you're not going to convince others. But anyway, I will move on to what? When we return, I got an Aggie Baseball listening. We're going to hear some of the players after the weekend and, what they had to say. I got text messages and more. I'll be right back. It is the Louie Bellina Show, Monday, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Woo! Fun is allowed and sports are fun. Weekdays 11 to 2 on the Zone.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. Down the stretch we come on a Monday. It is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. As promised, time now, Aggie Baseball, kind of a listening through the players' words. You know, Friday was the doubleheader, 6-3 in the first, 10-2 in the second. And after the doubleheader, a couple of players came out, and one of those players was Terrence Keel.
TK, how would you assess the offensive performance in the first game, and then what was said between games that allowed you guys to jump out to a hot start in the nightcap?
Yeah, we didn't hit terrible. I think what we did bad was the base running, and Coach Early mentioned it in between games, and so he said, let's clean it up. We're a way better baseball team than that. And came out second game. Like I said, all we do is respond. And so we responded second game. And I got picked off, but, it happens. But, yeah, it was good to, just bounce back after that first game.
How comfortable do you feel at the leadoff spot compared to anywhere else in the lineup?
I feel really good. I feel like I'm seeing the ball really well right now. I feel really comfortable with my swing. And I love it. I mean, when you have guys like Sorrell and Grahovic, Dewar hitting behind you, you can always trust those guys. So I had an interview yesterday, and I told Ryan that I just need to get on base no matter what. So that's really just the approach and the goal.
You mentioned the base running. Just what do you kind of chalk up some of those mistakes to, and just how do you go about fixing those?
Yeah, with me, that was my fault, and I shouldn't have ran. And I think the one in the dirt with Boston, it was just a really good bounce back by the catcher. He got the ball and threw him out. But and then Chestnut pickoff, just that was on us. It was nothing on the coaches. It was all on the players. We just need to do a better job of being smart. I think we got too aggressive the first game, and like I said, we cleaned it up a little bit the second game. But yeah, that can't happen, especially moving forward with next weekend with SEC play, and we'll clean it up.
As a player, what's the mentality kind of stay locked in and grind out like a doubleheader type of day like today?
Yeah, today was pretty long, but I think you just got to stay focused in both games. It's 18 innings, but also at the same time, you just got to enjoy it. I mean, it's a lot of baseball. I know I enjoyed it today, and so just staying focused every inning.
That was TK. Also, after the doubleheader, we got to represent the pitching side, right? Here is Weston Moss.
Weston, what was working for you today, and what allowed you to be so efficient out there?
Well, I would say the fastball was working. I felt like I threw less than 10 off speed. But I was just trying to throw it hard in the middle of the zone, pretty much. That's my mindset the whole time.
Why was the velocity higher than usual?
Pissed off.
What are you pissed off at?
I just think I'm better than what I've showed this year, so just pissed.
How much did the performance last weekend play into the mentality and the mindset today to go after?
It was just like a wake up. I don't want to be low 90s. I want mid to high 90s. That's where I want to be. I think we always talk about change up this. I think my best pitch is my fastball, and I just wanted to show that today.
That demeanor and mindset, is that something you can carry throughout the season, or is it just like, hey, I got to go out here and prove a point today?
Baseball's a hard sport, and I think the mental side's the hardest, but the plan is to keep it that way every single weekend. When stuff's a little down or whatever, I'm just gonna find a way.
You play with emotion, a lot of edge, out on the field. Like, did you have less of that early in the season? Did you have to channel more of that, or you kind of just been yourself, and this is kind of a result of it today?
Yeah, I think today I was just playing to have fun. I think I overthink a little bit about things and stress a little bit too much about things. And I think today I just didn't have any of that, and I think that was probably what did it for me.
Probably a tough outing last weekend, but just what's this last week been like, and just the way you've been able to move past that and have the day that you did today?
Just head down, get to work. I necessarily don't think I was the worst. I think they were just on me, last week, and it's just one of those things where you just gotta forget about it. This early in the season, you have to forget about that and come back like today, throw strikes, do what I do. And I think for SEC play, I think it was awesome. Great.
4 starts into the season, what do you feel like you've been at your best at, and where do you feel like the biggest point of improvement you've tried to make has been?
I'd say just dominance on fastball. I think today we showed that. I think off speed was a little rough because we threw about 8 off speed pitches today, so I'd say that's pretty normal. But I think once everything comes together, it's going to be really good for me.
Coach spoke about being out of the routine a lot this week, and today, highlighting that with the doubleheader. So during the first game, where were you? What were you doing? It allowed you to be locked in from the word go in the nightcap.
I was just drinking a lot of fluids, eating, snacking, and then when the food got here at like 3:30, I went in there and ate during the game. I tried to stay out of the sun, but I was watching the whole game. So.
That was Weston Moss. Before that, TK Terrence Keel. And we're going to wrap up our Aggie Baseball listening 11 a.m. Saturday. And man, did they time it well, because I think 10 minutes after the game, it got torrential. The rains came in. It was thick out there. But they got it in. They got the run rule W. Caden, bye-bye Moss, yard work Moss, whatever. He met with the media after the sweep Saturday.
Caden, how does this birthday compare to the first 20 birthdays you've had?
It's definitely started off pretty great. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Blessed to be here, big 2-1. So it's been a great day so far.
What has allowed you to have success offensively? Not only today, but through the first 4 weeks of the year.
I think just keeping the approach, keeping everything pitch to pitch. If I swing at a bad pitch, forget it, move on. Hunt the next pitch in the zone and then do damage. That's been the mindset all year, and it's been working pretty good.
High-level baseball player like you with a March birthday, you probably played on your birthday before, is that right?
I'm trying to think. Last year I didn't because I was hurt. Maybe in high school. Freshman year I wasn't playing yet, so not my freshman year. The only time it could have been was high school, but I really can't remember.
You got any big celebration plans with the rest of your free weekend then?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some dinner with the family, and then hang out with some buddies afterwards. Maybe go bowling, go laser tag, do something fun.
What are you getting on bowling? You big bowler?
I don't go very often. I'm not very good. I'm like a consistent 100 shooter, which ain't good at all. But maybe today, since it's my birthday, I'll be a little better. We'll see. That birthday luck.
Was there anything you did differently this morning? Just woke up, it's my birthday, I'm going to go play a baseball game.
I tried to keep it the same. I didn't really want to, change anything just because it was my birthday. Been doing good with the routine I've had so far, so I kind of tried to forget it was my birthday a little bit this morning and just go out and play baseball.
What's the game day routine?
Game day routine, always like to get here a little early. Always have an energy drink before, that's kind of part of my routine. And then everything I do in the cages up until the game is the routine.
That was Caden Sorrell. Before that, we had Weston Moss, and we kicked off our Aggie Baseball listening with Terrence Keel. That was the weekend that was in the players' world, and the weekend that was, it was a sweep of Oakland. Up next, the midweek Tuesday, Stephen F. Austin. Then SEC play begins. Top 10, number 9, according to D1 Baseball. Aggies will be in Norman. That's Oklahoma. Take on the Sooners. Number 9 in the latest D1. Aggies are 22, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the price of poker to go up. I'm ready for the games to just mean more. I'm ready to see who they are and what they have. I am ready. And I think this team is too. I could do a quick poll survey like, okay, your prediction for the... No. We're all going to see this together. I'm fired up for this to start up. Do not forget, you listen to Aggie Baseball Tuesday, then in Oklahoma, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You listen to the Oakland Sweep right here on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. You can listen on the Free Zone app, everywhere you get your apps. Download it for free. You can listen online, radioagland.com, and you can tell Alexa, play Zone 1150. Text messages. Rob Meyer made me laugh. Godfather. You have never seen me without a farm hat on. That's reserved for weddings, funerals, or 5-star restaurants. Yeah, if you were here earlier, you understand why I said that. And then Joe said, it's too long. Joe, once you hit over 3 sentences, that's a phone call. Just sorry, bro. Any thoughts, Joe? That's what he said at the end. It's over 3 sentences. It's got to be a text message, man. 979, over 3 sentences is a phone call. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got like 6. That's a phone call. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. All right, quick timeout, quick step out. 3 minutes, 42 seconds. We'll be back and we'll say bye. It's the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio, Monday.
For the complete contest and prize rules for 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, visit zone1150.com. No. Come get it.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. Almost, but not quite done. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm calendar enabled. Tomorrow, 11:20, Logan Lee inside the Charles Schwab studio. Buckyball time. Tomorrow, something's happening, 12 o'clock. If I could tell you, I'd have a better memory than I currently have now. 1 o'clock, Olin Buchanan, Texags inside the Charles Schwab studio. I think Olin and I are going to have about 7 million things to talk about. Tomorrow, 1:50, Community Spotlight. And that's thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. Aggieland Humane Society. Oh, sorry, I always love that. So Community Spotlight 150, Aggieland Humane Society. That is all tomorrow. Before we head out the door, Rusty Burson, the Rusty Burson texted. He kept it simple. I love beating LSU in multiple overtimes. It's an Aggie tradition. And Rusty, sure feels like it, huh? Doesn't matter if it's 3 overtimes. Doesn't matter if it's 7 overtimes. And the beauty of that is just prolonging the dagger into the heart. It means the dagger goes in deeper, doesn't it? When it's that much longer and that much more painful. Would everybody agree with that? So Rusty Burson, I think, twisting the dagger a bit himself. I love beating LSU in multiple overtimes, an Aggie tradition. If we were doing a recap on the day, Bucky Ball did it. They got into the NCAA tournament. It's done. JBR bracketology. No number one ranked number one conference, which the SEC is, that's had a team 4 games above 500 in conference play. A&M's 11-7, 4 games above. Winning road record, like all these parameters, has never not gotten in since the archives of 97. I mean, it's done. They needed to go 3-1 in the last 4. Check. They needed to find their 2 wins. Check. They beat Kentucky and they beat LSU. They needed 3 overtimes. They had to survive themselves. They had to survive their opponents. They had to survive fatigue. They had to survive everything that LSU game was. That game was not Shakespeare. That game was not Picasso. I think Chip on Twitter X said rock fight. Didn't matter. It came down to who wanted it. All credit to LSU. Bucky started off his postgame saying all credit to LSU, and that's nails money correct. They were playing for nothing and played hard. And A&M played like a team, I think, who knew controlled their destiny. Win and be done with it. Win and screw the committee. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. That's what I thought they played like. And they took care of their business. And I don't know, as a fan, man, on the couch there, rooting so hard, rooting through the TV, like literally anything I had, I was giving to the players and the team. Because when you see an effort like that, those style points, I do not care. You have me. I've said many times before, the hustle. I respect the hustle, the effort. I've watched great teams play like they're disinterested and they couldn't care less. You don't got me. But you give me an underdog team, a team I know that doesn't have what it takes, but you're showing me that you're giving me everything you have. And as a fan, I'm with you. Win or lose, I'm with you. And watching Bucky Ball, they've had me the whole time. And the payoff, NCAA tournament, year 1, with, yes, all the freaking odds stacked way against you. Pretty incredible, pretty great ride. Yeah. So thank you, Rusty. That's pretty awesome. I love beating LSU in multiple overtimes, an Aggie tradition. And look, Rusty Burson is our Aggie historian and an author. So if anybody would know it would be Rusty. I think he has the right to declare tradition, and I'm not going to fight him on this. And he'll be with me Thursday, 1 o'clock on the D4 Land Services hotline. Oh, I'm pretty fired up about this. If you ever need a metal building, a custom metal building from the ground up, visit d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. And like recapping the day, Buckyball. Aggie Baseball took care of business. And to be fair, we just had a lot of fun. We kind of jumped into the lifestyles portion a couple of time or three, but we're allowed to have fun on the Louie Bellina Show. I got to go. I'm back tomorrow. Already mentioned tomorrow. What was it? Logan Lee, 11:20. Olin Buchanan at 1. Community Spotlight. Ooh, Aggieland Humane Society, 1:50. Ticket booth will be open again thanks to Dixie Tire Company. And, of course, your text messages and more. I'm back tomorrow at 11. Have an amazing Monday, everybody. This has been, I'm out of here, the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, Monday on the Zone. Peace.
Like most years, the 2025 NCAA Men's Tournament delivered a round 1 bracket buster.
Pass into Copeland at the rim. Lost the handle and backed it out to Shoemate. He'll shoot a 3. Scored! Oh, Shoemate! It's all going right for the Cowboys. A 20-point lead, their largest of the game.
The 12-seed McNeese Cowboys picked up their first ever tournament win, holding off a late comeback by the 6-seed Clemson. Hear Westwood One's exclusive coverage of this year's NCAA tournament right here.